Welcome to October. As we move through this year, if you remember last month, we introduced this idea that we're going to be moving through one book. So we started last month in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. We're going to jump to 1 Corinthians chapter 2. He's continuing this conversation and focusing in on something that we talked about a little bit last month. We're going to pick up in verse 10, and it says this. It says, "These are the things God has revealed to us by His Spirit. The Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God. For who knows a person's thoughts except their own spirit within them? In the same way, no one knows the thoughts of God except the Spirit of God. What we have received is not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, so that we may understand what God has freely given us. This is what we speak, not in words taught to us by human wisdom, but in words taught by the Spirit, explaining spiritual realities with spirit-taught words." And so he's walking them through this, and he says, and he talked about this a little bit last month, that we don't rely on our own wisdom, and we don't boast about our own wisdom. We rely on the Spirit within us, and this reality that as we step into a relationship with God, we're not just forgiven, we're not just adopted, but we are given His Spirit. And one of the things that the Spirit does is that it's teaching us. It's moving through, and we're taught that Scripture is His tool, that this is the sword of the Spirit. And He's moving through life with us and helping us to understand this journey, not just with our wisdom, but with His. And so I just want to challenge you as we move through this month with this question. How are you creating space to hear and listen to that Spirit? Or are you just depending on your wisdom to figure it out? If this is true and we have that Spirit, and if the Spirit is the one who allows us to be able to see the wisdom of God, then we have to create space for it. And so as you sit with this passage, hopefully it just reminds you and takes you back over and over again to create that space to say, okay, no, I'm going to create space in my day-to-day to be able to listen. What an amazing, amazing gift. And it's my prayer that you would know and experience that this month.